Been a minute. Hi. Hey, loved ones. How are you today? I noticed that the last time I was online, um, my microphone was cutting in and out, and I'm hoping that um, it sounds better. I haven't been on for a while. I caught a really serious head cold. Um, I am talking serious. I have makeup, but my little nose is all raw. You can see by the around my eyes that I've been just a little miserable lately. Let me see. In the last couple weeks, this today I want to do this video about post epiclusa and how life has been for me since I have finished the cure. I also um, fostered two little dogs who were going to be killed because of ringworm. These puppies were just 7 weeks old when I took them in. Um, Beautiful little dogs, and neither one of them weighed more than a pound. It was originally a litter of three, but one of the little puppies, a little girl, was adopted before I ever got the two brothers. And I'm happy to announce that one of the brothers has already been given to a forever home, adopted, and he was adopted just 2 days before Christmas. I have decided, me and my spiritual husband, have decided that we're going to keep the other one, the little guy who was inflicted with the ringworm. See, out of the three of them, only Stewie, the one we've decided to keep, um, was afflicted. And I'm proud to announce that after 3 weeks, Stewie is now ringworm free and learning to be a real dog. It really kind of broke my heart because this little dog, because of this infliction on his skin, was never held and loved. And so he never knew a personal touch or how to be loved by a human. I don't think he learned to be a dog. To say. That's what I'm saying. And now I'm proud to say we've named him Stewie. And Stewie is now becoming a real dog. He, at a pound and a half, is even taking the stairs outside at leaps and bounds before I get up the stairs, and he's right there. He hasn't learned how to come down the stairs yet, but he's doing rather well, and it's actually a nice little addition to the new house. I love my new house. So anyway, I would like to talk to you about my post cure on epiclusa since I have finished my medication. I was having issues with brain fog. I call them brain farts. And it was severe. I mean, it was really bad, loved ones. And slowly but surely, it's coming back, my word recall. I still have issues, but I'm very blessed with a loving man. And some of you have seen me do. Let me stop for a minute and get off subject here. I have a mate. uh, who I have known since I was 24 years old. We have a son together. We have grandchildren together. Um, After a 25-year separation, me and him found each other again. It's been a hell of a rocky road. It's had its ups and downs. It's had diseases. It's had uh, infidelities. Bless his heart, he displays a lot of narcissistic traits. And unbeknownst to all of you, the narcissistic videos that I have done, most of the time he's been here in the house. A couple of the times sitting right next to me. Um, while I have done the narcissistic videos. Now I know for a fact that narcissist doesn't they don't think anything's wrong with them, and they never try to change. But the man in my life has continually tried to change. He's tried to better himself. He's tried to better our relationship. um, we've had our struggles. We have one particular married woman who, at a drop of a dime, will spread her legs. And then not just for my man. She services the music community here in Nevada very well, I must say, at the expense of quite a few other wives and spiritual mates. Um, yeah, I guess nasty is as nasty does, and some people just don't get a clue, and they don't have enough self-respect to stay with their own man or to remove themselves from the situation if they're not happy. They instead decide to go around infecting households with STDs. It's really sad, and they'll get these men when they're at their weakest point. Now, please don't get me wrong. I am not taking the blame off of the men who have been involved with this woman at all. Shame on you, gentlemen. Shame, shame, shame for doing that, knowing this woman carries STDs and taking them home to your mates. Is all I have to say. But me and my man still fight very hard to stay together. We've had our ins and outs, our ups and downs, and he is working very hard to conquer his narcissistic traits. I can't say that he's a narcissist, and it's just not because we're back together. We never stay separated. We are never forever apart. We literally can't live without each other. And so, with that being said, I'm sorry if I confused any of you, or that I do confuse you with alone this New Year's. I'm not alone. He's here. He's out. But that's how my world has been. That's how our world has been, in and out, up and down, and always having to worry that there's somebody like this woman who's willing to step in and make matters worse, instead of just excusing herself, finding some self-respect, and staying away from married men or men who are taken. It must have to do with her own self worth, which she obviously suffers greatly. With that being said, he does support me 100% in all of my videos. He is almost always here. When I do my videos, he actually helps me with a lot of research. And he helps with some of the things that I have great passions about. I'm very passionate about saving dogs. I always have been, and I always will be. In Phoenix, I did hospice for dogs for 4 years, and it was very heart-wrenching, very hard to do. And that's not something I intend to do anymore. Excuse me. My antihistamines are making me so thirsty. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you for all being with me and helping me remain strong, and for understanding. I do put a lot of my personal life out there, and so it's something I got to touch on. And I appreciate everybody who backs me during those issues and during those times. Anyway, back to the reason for this video. Is post-epiclusa cure. As I was saying, I had some really, really heavy-duty issues with brain fog, brain farts, especially with word recall, and I don't find myself suffering from that as bad. I absolutely have gotten a lot of my words back. There's still an incident or two, and I'm sure that they'll continue. But I am well on my way to recovery and back to my old self in that area. So don't be surprised if you have issues of poor word recall, name recall, and stuff like that while you're on your epiclusa. Another thing that I absolutely did not know, and I just found out on one of my Hep C sites on Facebook, hair loss. Now, I had Hep C The first time I was diagnosed with it, they called it non-A, non-B, and it was like in 1979 or 1980. They said at the time it was like a flu virus, nothing like Hep A or B, that it simply needed bed rest, lots of liquids and juices. And I had probably what I called 4 or 5 crashes of this non-A, non-B from 1979 to 1980, no, 1993. And each time my doctor would do blood work and say, "Yep, you've got it again, go home. Uh, Plenty of bed rest." He'd write me off for 2 weeks, and at the end of 2 weeks, I always felt better, and I would go on about life. And then in 1993 is when actually, I found out in 1908 that they diagnosed Hep C in 1989. That's when it became Hep C and not non-A, non-B. Well, in 1993, I got extremely sick during the pregnancy of my daughter. And when I went in, my doctor said, "Well, Tammy, you have Hep C." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And he says, "That non-A, non-B." And I said, "So I'll go home and get some sleep." And he goes, "No." He says, "We found out that it is actually never leaves your system and it will kill your liver. You're dying." Well, my baby was only 3 months old. I had a 1 year old and I had a 9 year old. I was devastated. So anyway, with that being said, through the years, I've learned to live with all the side effects of hepatitis C. So much so that when the cure came out, I was afraid to take it. My body was so used to carrying this disease that I couldn't fathom the thought of what my body would do without the disease. Because, you know, I had plenty of energy. I didn't have issues with weight gain or loss. I had a good appetite. I was physical. I was physically active at all times. I had a good outlook on life, and I was really frightened to take a cure because anyway. But I was on a site the other day, and since my epiclusa has stopped, I've lost about half my hair. Now, I know y'all can't tell on camera here, um, but my hair has, wrong way, I can't ever tell on these cameras. My hair has simply thinned out so badly that, let me see if I can get it back here. My hair has thinned out so extremely, I would say about half of my hair that I had when I started the epiclusa is gone. And so on the Hep C place, I asked these people, these are people that have been on cures, not the epiclusa, but the other cures. And I said, when does the hair loss stop? And when do we start getting back our hair? Because through the years, my hair has thinned dramatically. I used to have very fine hair, but I had tons of it. And one of the gentlemen came back and he said, "Tammy, didn't you know one of the side effects of hepatitis C is hair loss?" And another lady said she never even grew hair on her legs or under her arms anymore because of the Hep C. So all these years, doctors have been testing for hormones, yeah, all kinds of stuff, trying to find out why I had such incredible hair loss. And all they could figure was it was inherited. Now, even though neither one of my grandmothers or great grandmothers, I have a full Native American grandmother who had the most beautiful, thick, long hair that you could imagine. But even my grandmothers both had big, thick, beautiful heads of hair, my whole family. And so they said the only thing we can figure is that it's inherited. So I went along for about 10 years figuring I'm going to be a bald female. I better get the investing in some wigs. Hence, you see my hair pieces. I have ponies and stuff like that. But I have come to find out that hair loss is actually a sign of Hep C, one of the side effects. With that being said, I was also informed that if you have lost your hair, that it takes about a year or a year and a half for your hair to start to come back in. So ladies, be rest assured that beautiful mane We'll be back. Um, I was having severe uh, bone pain, joint pain is the only thing that I could say. Even with injections, I get injections in my hips, my knees, and my shoulders on a regular basis. But even with those, my joint pain was so severe that I couldn't wait to get off the Epiclusa. Because before the Epiclusa, of course, I had pain. But the injections and the shots always seemed to take some of the pain away where I could at least function. Well, on the Epiclusa, it had gotten so bad, I was afraid I was going to end up back on a walker, on a cane, or in a wheelchair even. Because last year at this time, I was actually in an electric wheelchair for about 3 months. So I am proud to announce that the bone pain, the joint pain, has subsided. Now, when I started doing these videos, I started doing them because there was nothing on Epiclusa. It was only put on the market in July of 2016, and I started taking it, I believe it was September of 2016. There was no blogs, no nothing, no videos or anything on Epiclusa. But I had read so many on its sister drug, Havalone, Harvine, that drug. Anyway, but that's for genotype 1 only. That's not for those of us with genotype 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. I even think they got a 7 now. Although 6 and 7 are pretty much mainly for people who have been overseas. But anyhow, back to task. I started doing these videos because there was nothing out there to help ease my questions or my worries, my fears, or to even give me a heads up on stuff that I might experience. I've had a lot of you, dear ones, put down that there have been no side effects. And they say, wonderful, that's beautiful. But I am very in tune to my body. And if something is different, I know about it. Not only do I know about it, I know what I've changed up in my world that could have caused that issue. Now, I also had headaches. After I quit Epiclusa, I had a solid headache for probably 2 weeks. Easy. Not only that, I was also suffering heart palpitations like I had in the beginning after I quit taking it. Those too have come and gone. Um, a lot of the things that I had in the beginning of Epiclusa, I had when I quit taking the Epiclusa. But as of today's date, which, you know what, tomorrow night's New Year's. Happy New Year's, loved ones. Um, have subsided. I no longer have headaches. I no longer have heart palpitations. I no longer have joint pains. I do have thinning hair. According to my brush, Dr. Brush, I haven't been losing, the hair loss has stopped, and it stopped only within the last week. But I look forward to growing that full head of hair back. I thank each and every one of you for the input and the time that you have taken to listen to my videos. And rest assured, I had 1 or 2 people ask me if I was going to continue to make videos, and I said yes, and I will, about different subjects. I actually have a really good one today. It's a debunk. Uh, are you curious? Actually, somebody sucked me out of a few bucks, and I'm going to save you a few bucks. Anyhow, I'm going to keep doing videos on different kinds of things that me and my husband, uh, we study. We study stuff I can't even begin to tell you, from a flat Earth to Judaism to Christianity to prophecies. We study everything together. And together we will be gathering information for my channel. At some point, I hope to get him on here so that you can all meet him. He's a sweetheart of a guy. He's intelligent as hell. And he loves me. And together, we're working to make our relationship work. So please, just pray for us. each and every one of you, pray for us. And pray that God would remove the idiots from our lives that want to see us split up, because we have a few of those. Just saying. So, dear ones, it's been very interesting doing these, because as I have been listing my side effects, a lot of you have come back listing yours. I think Epiclusa, in my opinion, is one of the most mild drugs I have ever been on for hepatitis C. And I've been on a few. The interferon is, fuck. Good Lord. And then if that wasn't bad enough, they put me on rubivirin with it. That was a joke. And I had 3 young children. Uh, this Epiclusa has been a walk in the park. It's been one of the easiest things I've ever taken. I have to tell you, the last 30 days took the longest and it was the hardest, only because I knew that I no longer carried the hepatitis virus in my body. My viral load came back 0 after 4 weeks. I've actually seen that they're dropping it from a 12-hour or 12-week cure time to 8 weeks, which is actually probably all they need. I think it's a miracle drug. I don't know what took them so long to discover this. And all I can say is that all the reviews I've read about the cures, and you know what? There's several of them. I can't even say half of them, but there has to be probably 8 cures for Hep C, depending on what genotype, what your insurance will approve, whether you have cirrhosis, but they are all working. On Facebook, all you have to do is search Hep C, and you will find so many private um, channels that you can hook up with a lot of Hep C people who have been cured, who are still there to support, encourage those who are coming behind them and us on this journey of living free with hepatitis C. We have all hidden. We've stayed locked in parks. And not because this is contagious. I had 3 children while having Hep C. None of my children have Hep C. I had three mates, full-time mates in my life. None of them have Hep C. So this isn't a STD at all. This is only transferred blood to blood, live blood to blood. You brush your teeth, you're bleeding. Your mate brushes their teeth, they've got it. If they're bleeding, you shave your legs, your mate comes behind, shaves his face, and cuts himself, he's got it. These are the ways, one needle to another, one tattoo gun to another. Those are the ways, and the only ways, that you can catch hepatitis C is live blood to live blood. And I've lived with this disease almost 40 years. I know, as does everybody else, that this disease is just not a disease that can be passed along that easily. There has to be some live blood to live blood. And just a note, once blood hits the air, it immediately starts dying. That's how fast the transfer has to be. So anyway, to all of us who've lived in the shame and the fear of having Hep C for however you got it for so many years, I am so proud to say that these cures are so worth the money and the time, the fight with your insurance company, the liver biopsies, and now they're just no more than an ultrasound, even to see what stage cirrhosis you have. I have none. I was very lucky. But I have to say I took milk thistle back in the 80s because I was told milk thistle would cure Hep C. But I have, and I've read that quite a few people who took milk thistle have no cirrhosis. But that's neither here nor there right now. If you have a chance to take any one of the cures for Hep C that are out there right now, do it. Do it. You're talking to a woman who, as of right now, is cured from a disease that she's had for 38 years. And there are many more like us. Fight with your insurance company. Bitch at your doctor. Make them get you approved. But never give up. Never give up hope. Because, look at, I'm cured. Anyway, Happy New Year's to all of you, dear ones. I love you all to death. I hope 2017 brings you all the joy and the happiness that you could want. For those of us who have finished our cures, it's our new year. It's the reason we took the cure. For those of you who are taking it, it's your year too, because you'll be finished and living a full life, hepatitis C free. I love you all. My prayers and wishes are with you. Happy New Year's. Mwah. Peace.